Nod-Krai. The region tells you to nod, cry, not cry, but it is literally impossible to not cry while doing the main quest, the Song of the Welkin Moon. Now, when this arc was first announced, way back in, I think, April of last year, and everybody had varying thought, like, maybe some people thought that it was a filler arc and they wanted to jump into Snezhnaya right now. Some people thought that, it would be a good break and it would help the overall story of Genshin Impact. And even the developers said that, that these characters, that they forgot about the lore that they wanted to explain in previous patches. So Song of the Welkin Moon is basically connecting all the dots that we were missing from before. Now, I'm of the belief that Song of the Welkin Moon was necessary. Like, if you told me right now that we would skip the entire Song of the Welkin Moon, we would go from Natlan to Snezhnaya, I would probably scream at you. I would probably tell you that, no, please do not do that. You have to experience Song of the Welkin Moon. It gives a lot of character development, especially to Paimon and the Traveler. It gives a lot of world building characters, Varka, Alice. We finally got designs for Varka and Alice. Sandrone, who is very important to the Snezhnaya main quest as teased by the devs themselves. Arlecchino. Now, why I say Sandrone and Arlecchino is because while Sandrone was released in the Nod-Krai cycle and people are... it's natural to expect that, most of a character development happened during Nod-Krai. Arlecchino is one character that I believe had more character development during Nod-Krai, and if we did not have that, our understanding of Arlecchino would be completely different. What we experienced with Arlecchino in Fontaine was absolutely different. It's insane. It's like night and day difference between Nod-Krai Arlecchino and Fontaine Arlecchino. And I think Nod-Krai really helped Arlecchino's character a lot, because while before I was attracted to Arlecchino physically, now I am also emotionally attracted to her, because now I can see what her character is like, and we all know how she is on the inside. She's not this cruel, serious father, but she is a humble, gentle, very emotional yet powerful character. And I think that, Song of the Welkin Moon really helped develop Arlecchino on a whole. We also had some of the Nod-Krai characters that were really amazing. Aino, Ineffa, who was actually released in Natlan, which is actually the first time that Genshin released a future region character for, earlier, Ineffa was obviously meant for Nod-Krai, but she released in the Natlan patch cycle, so it was kind of nice. It was kind of a nice change, and Ineffa was a way to, to get hints on Nod-Krai before anything else, before even the first trailer or so. So that was really nice. And Nefer, Jahoda was the star of the Archon Quest. Nefer's voice actress is really, really good. I also like the fact that, that Nefer was from Sumeru, so we actually dived into Sumeru lore as well. And Sumeru is, once again, one of my favorite regions ever. So any Sumeru character, I'm gonna love them. After that, we had Flins from Snezhnaya, a fae. We got Lauma, who is this really beautiful priestess, who was also devout, religious to the moon goddesses, who prayed for her Kutar's return, the Columbina. I just love the way Lauma says Kutar. Like, it is so pleasant to hear it. It was like, it is a heaven. It is like honey in my ears. It is just so sweet. We got Durin, Albedo's return, Wanderer's return. I mean, these characters got insane character development. We also had Varka, Nicole, Alice. I mean, come on. And then we have the star of our show, Columbina, who I think had the greatest character development ever. I mean, Genshin Impact just gave the Archon of Nod-Krai, the goddess of Nod-Krai, an 8-act character story. Like every single act is basically for Columbina, even though it focuses on some characters. Like, like the first act focuses on Lauma, the second act focuses on Flins. We got Nefer in Act 4. On Act 3 focuses on Arlecchino, on Rarier, and then we have Act 5 and 6, which focus on the aftermath of Rarier's fight. It focuses on, helping Columbina get accustomed to normal life. Then we see that massive cliffhanger at the end of Act 6, which actually brought tears to my eyes, and the return of #1 asshole of Genshin Impact, El Dottore. Then we had Act 7 and Act 8, which was the actual character story arc for Columbina, and then the final fight. It was really, really well done in my eyes, and I think that this was really, really important to the main story of Genshin Impact. Talking about the villains, Dottore and Rarier. First, I'm going to talk about Dottore because his part is short. Like, Dottore as a villain has already been introduced in Sumeru, and we already technically fought him once, like technically on a technicality. But over here we actually fight him in Nod-Krai after that epic cutscene, with Columbina coming back, and we also have these quick time events to actually kill Dottore, which was really beautiful. I mean, I saw that they were trying something new with boss fights, and it was actually really nice. We also saw Lauma, Flins, and Nefer buffing us, and then we had Columbina's moonbeam to destroy it. So the boss fight was actually very insane, very good. I also like the fact that right before the final boss fight, we had an event in Genshin which focused on Zandique's past. Like through Layla, we had the Layla event, and it was really nice. Like even the events also felt merged. Like they tried to tell a story of Teyvat. And I think that Layla event was really important for Zandique's lore, because that was really, Zandique. I don't know why they call Zandique. I mean, I would pronounce his name as Zandique, but it is what it is. And he also appeared in Sumeru, Dottore, that asshole. Dottore, you bastard. I could listen to Sandrone cursing Dottore all day. But yeah, he also returned in the Sumeru Archon Quest, and we also fought him again. Now that's the other thing that it kind of felt excess. Like, we had Dottore in the initial Sumeru Archon Quest alongside Wanderer. We had Dottore in the Nod-Krai Archon Quest with Columbina, and then we again had Dottore in Sumeru. So it kind of felt like too much Dottore. But I'm not disappointed, because Dottore as a villain is amazing. Like, it's kind of like Cersei in Game of Thrones, where you just look at her and you can feel the rage building inside of you. So that was the same thing with Dottore. Now, talking about Rarier, the other villain, and I think the more relatable, emotional, yet craziest villain of all time, one of the 5 sinners of Khaenri'ah, Rarier. It was I did not even expect it. I was expecting some Fatui shenanigans when heading into Nod-Krai, but when that 5th sinner came out, when the 5th sinner came out, when that title card came, I was like, holy shit, let's run, let's go back. Because we can't do this, we can't handle it. And his boss fight was insane. It's sad that his boss fight isn't a weekly boss fight. Like, I wish that, maybe we had an extra boss fight, the Rarier boss fight, because that boss fight was too iconic, too insane, too good, and it was too tough because they gave us Nefer and Traveler, Hydra Traveler, mind you, with the Aino, without the Aino buff, I think, and it was rough, man. It was absolutely rough. It was rough as hell. I think we had the Aino buff though. I'm not really 100% sure on that, but still. So yeah, one thing that I liked about Rarier was his past. Like, usually villains of these don't have tragic past, or if they do have tragic pasts, some actions lead them to eventually becoming truly evil, or from the start they are so mentally broken that they think and see the world in a different way, kind of like Dottore, who saw everybody on Teyvat as beneath him. He considered himself to be a god. So that is something that doesn't develop over time, or doesn't develop from a tragic incident. It's innate, it's within you. Rerir, on the other hand, was just a common infantryman, a soldier you would call, or maybe one of the king's guards. I mean, obviously higher than a soldier, but still, he was your normal daily man of Kandria, had a good relationship with his to-be wife Tolindis, and had a good friendship with Dainsliv's brother as well. I don't really remember his name right now. Vedafonir. And we all saw scenes from Kandria. We saw Rerir meeting with Dainsliv, having a drink with Dainsliv and Vedafonir. We saw Rerir conversing with Tholindis. We saw Rerir doing his job, and his job was basically killing enemies for the king. Now, what's insane here is that, when the twist hits you that the enemies that Rerir is targeting are people that descend from the iridescent moon, from the blood moon. And initially, they're only targeting the protesters, the people who are rebelling against the king. But sooner and later, you gradually see the list increase. You see people who are you see people who are only slightly related, or you see people who don't even care about the rebellion but are descendants of the iridescent moon. That is when it starts to the facade starts to shatter for Rerir. What am I doing? Is this right? They're just kids. Because initially you see a 44-year-old man, a 50-year-old man, a 38-year-old woman. But then gradually the age decreases. You go from 26, 24 to 18 to 14 to 8. You're killing kids. They're asking Rerir to kill kids. And it's all in the name of preserving the dynasty, preserving the Kandrian kingdom. And what actually hits Rerir is when his fiancée, Tholindis, is revealed to be a descendant of the said iridescent moon, I believe. And that is when, it all shattered for Rerir. He was like, I cannot do this anymore. Because on one hand, you have this soldier who's working for his kingdom, but if you're demanded to kill your fiancé, to kill the person that you love the most in this world, I mean, it's a human nature, it's a human reaction to just run away, to ignore everything. And I think that was the plan for Rerir as well, because Tholindis was researching the abyss, researching the abyssal energy that the king had discovered. And I think that they were going to escape, but then the calamity hit. The calamity of being of meeting Dainsliv, actually, because that's what led Rerir to go help Dainsliv, because the king had gone mad, so he went to help. And this is all this basically how the 5 sinners were born. And I think it just made Rerir much more likable to me. I personally adored his story. Even though it was a tragic story, it was a cruel story. He did not really need to kill those people. And even Tholindis was not the greatest person, the purest person. She also had her own schemes. She was working against Rerir. She was, working against Kandria itself. She wanted to preserve the people who descended from the iridescent moon. And I think that it's kind of like Genshin's own version of Romeo and Juliet, where you have two people from different factions who love each other and they are destined to not be together. Maybe it's not Wuthering Waves. Maybe it could be. Sorry. Maybe it's not Romeo and Juliet. Maybe it could be Wuthering Heights kind of stuff. A mix of Romeo and Juliet and Wuthering Heights, and all the other tragic love stories that you've probably read or heard about. But I think that, this relationship, this subplot defined Rerir's character, and I honestly made me like him a lot. And we also got that final scene where Columbina is in the Moon Gate and she is going back in time to the origin point to find the moon goddesses. And in her way, she meets Rerir. And Rerir actually admits his mistakes, admits his faults, and he said that he only did it for Tholindis. And then you go a little bit ahead and you finally meet Tholindis. And then she's like, I was waiting for Rerir. it's kind of a sad story. It is a really sad story, and even the end of them, where they are only a few meters apart, like let's say they're basically maybe 100 200 meters apart, or maybe a kilometer 2 kilometer, but Rarier and Tholindus are eternally separated in that Moongate space, and it is just so sad because they all did whatever they did for each other. And I think that's what makes Rarier a much more likable villain compared to Dottore, who's it's like, you want to kick him whenever you see him. You want to take off his mask and kick him in the face. Go Sandrone! I love your I love the words that you use for him. But yeah, that was it on the villains. Now let's talk about some side characters. I think the side characters also were really nice. Linnea, Zibai, Prune, Lohen. Really wonderful characters, very varied personalities, and all of them were somehow connected either to the moon, to Nod-Krai, or to Mondstadt, the Knights of Favonius. And that was nice. Like, it went back to Mondstadt, our first region, and it focused on Nod-Krai. So this was basically bringing up Mondstadt's relevancy in Genshin Impact after, many people thought that, Mondstadt is the first nation, we can all just forget about it. Even Zibai's role, she was not just, a new Liyue character that you obviously have every year, but she was connected to the moon. Her story played a huge role as well in understanding her character and understanding the Liyue before it became Liyue. And we also got our buffs, the Hexerai buffs and all. Overall, gameplay wise, also I was really appealed by the Lunar Charge, although I'm not really fond of the concept. Like, I preferred Night Soul over the Hexerai and the lunar stuff, and now the stellar stuff. Like, I honestly preferred Night Soul. That was a very unique concept that I truly loved, and I think it is one of my favorite concepts in Genshin, one of my favorite gameplay mechanics in Genshin right now. But Luna was still really nice. We finally went to Luna at the end, which is insane. Like, if you told me we're going to go on the moon in Genshin Impact, if you told me this last year, last year, I don't know, any year before this month, before the previous month, I would have been like, hell no, we aren't leaving Teyvat. But we went to the moon, man. And I think the aesthetic design of the entire Nod-Krai cycle, including Nod-Krai, the new Mondstadt places, the moon, it was to visually appeal. It was less on exploration, less on gameplay, and more on the appeal part, which I think, for a small region, for an interlude of sorts, basically you can call Song of the Welkin Moon an interlude to connect Natlan and Snezhnaya. I think that it was really well done. Like, even though I know the Kuhenki gameplay was there, and then there were the magnetic push and pull system and all, but still, I kind of found the Saurians in Natlan much better, or the underwater exploration in Fontaine. Nod-Krai doesn't really have anything that stands out except for the Kuhenkis, which are just, glorified, what should I say, slinging stuff that you found in Sumeru with path tracing. You can trace the path, and the push and pull stuff is kind of normal. So there's nothing really unique to Nod-Krai except for that magnetism one. But still, overall, like I said, the visual appeal was there, and it is gorgeous to look at, to stay in Nod-Krai. One other thing that, that makes Nod-Krai really, really special, and I think it has a step above all other regions, is the music. And this is why it hits hard. Like, this is the reason why Nod-Krai's music hits hard, is because it focused on a single tune. Like, all the other regions have different tunes, different mottos, different basically main themes, right? So you have Sumeru, but you have different themes for everything. And then you have Fontaine as well, but you then also in that you have different themes. You have different themes for the boss fight, you have different themes for the main Sumeru, the main Fontaine quest, the Fontaine city and all. Like, obviously, if I sing Do 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 do. I mean, everybody would know it with Fontaine, but still, it was very varied. Same thing with Natlan. It had the na 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 na. Like, it was unique, but still, when you fight Thought, that music is not there. So Thought's theme is different. Natlan's theme is different. Natlan's anthem is unique, and I think that final cutscene in Natlan amplified it, where everybody was singing that national anthem, which still makes me sentimental for some reason. I don't know when I just remember it, but yeah. The core theme in Nod-Krai was Columbina's theme, and I think that is what made every patch much more special, because when we started Nod-Krai, we have these Selene Chronicles, and you have to go and meet Columbina every week, and you have this music that's been playing over there that kind of goes like na 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 na, and that music, it's prevalent, it's there in every patch, and the more you listen to it, the more you feel connected to it, and that music does not lose its identity. Like, even when you fight the big boss, the Dottore boss fight at the end of Act 8, that music is still there, albeit in its more epic version, but it is still there. Columbina's entrance still has that music. Columbina's return has that music. So that music, I feel that that particular music track, even it was there on Moon Prayer Night, where where it had a peppy version, like it's a fast-paced one, but then you have the one where Columbina comes back from the Frost Moon, like when she comes back from the moon space thing, and it's a slow version, like na 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 na. So there's this one unique theme that they've modified it for everything, and I think that's what makes it unique, iconic. It's kind of like the Avengers theme, where you listen to Avengers theme and it's very unique in different ways, right? Like, you have certain fast-paced ones, certain slow-paced ones. It's the same thing with Nod-Krai's main theme, and to add to the fact that that they got Aurora to sing for the main Nod-Krai theme was honestly insane. But yeah, I think the music played a huge role in that as well. Now, even ignoring the main theme, which is so good, the other music, the Frost Moon Scions music, the Kuvaki Experimental Bureau music, which kind of reminds me of The Witcher 3 so bad. The music is very reminiscent of, if you've played The Witcher 3, of very Slavic nations, of Polish nations, and it is like, I think that that the inspiration was certainly from The Witcher 3, which I think the devs also mentioned it as well in their preview video. You have these da na 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 na, which is very like The Witcher 3. But then you also have the beautiful melodic tunes like the Frost Moon Scions theme, which kind of goes like na 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 na. Na 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 na. And then also you have the iconic Nod-Krai theme that they teased with, which is just the it is, I mean, the music really uplifted everything in Nod-Krai, and I think it plays a huge role in uplifting the region, the story. I mean, I've heard the new Snezhnaya track, the new Snezhnaya live concert, and honestly it felt like the national anthem for the Tsaritsa, honoring the Tsaritsa and honoring the Fatui and all, but still it didn't feel as iconic, because honestly Snezhnaya's theme felt like I have heard it somewhere. Like, it felt like I've probably heard that theme while fighting one of the Fatui harbingers. Maybe it was Child or Senora or Wanderer, I don't really remember where, but I think that I have heard that theme. With Nod-Krai, it was completely unique. It was very soothing on the ears, and it is one type of music that I think that I can hear anywhere, anytime, any place, and it would fit any mood. So that's what I think about Nod-Krai's music. I think all of them, like every patch felt that it had something substantial in it. It didn't feel like a filler patch. None of the patches actually felt like a filler patch, except for that one Prune event patch where it was kind of like the kids event, which was kind of cool, like the little Hexen circle and all. But it was fun. But I mean, that kind of felt like a filler, not gonna lie. But apart from that, everything else was absolutely peak. We also got the conclusion to the Sumeru Archon Quest. I mean, Song of the Welkin Moon gave us the conclusion to the Sumeru Archon Quest. We finally got to see the ending of Dottore in Sumeru again. We finally met our Sumeru characters, Nahida, Dia, Candice, Nilu, Tainari, Alhaitham, Kave, Sethos. I don't know, man. It was absolutely peak. It was absolutely beautiful. Nicole also played a part, although I don't think that, I mean, I didn't see the reason why they merged Nicole's character quest in the Sumeru Archon Quest. It didn't really make much sense, but it is what it is. I mean, she's a witch. She's got a long life. I don't know which NPC she'll have to kick up to, give her a character quest. But I also like that, that we finally saw Irminsul burn. Irminsul actually got burnt. Mawika made a cameo appearance, my beloved Mawika, with giving her gnosis away. I mean, that ending cutscene with Wanderer, Nahida, and the Traveler Lumine, I still regret to this day that I skipped Wanderer and I don't have him. Like, man, he is such a cool character. I honestly regret it. I honestly regret skipping Wanderer so bad, because at that time I didn't have any Welkins. I didn't have the interest in him. I always thought of him as the enemy. But I don't know, man, just with his gradual character development, he has grown on me a lot. And I just, I mean, please, Hoyos, give him for free. I need my hat guy. But yeah, we also saw the return of our Aranara friends of Jet. It felt like Sumeru Avengers Endgame, where everybody united to take down Dottore. We also saw a birth of the new Akasha system, which I don't know I don't know about you, but it gave me chills. It gave me chills when they restarted the new Akasha. It was chilling, to say the least. It was absolutely amazing. Kolei's backstory, Kolei's character development was so good. Especially that first sequence in the Sumeru Archon Quest, where Kolei is in a dream and everything has changed, and you can hear it in her voice that she is terrified. She is like, what is happening? And that just made me emotional as well. Like, it's not Nod-Krai, it's Sumeru, but still, it just made me emotional, because Kolei does not deserve that. We also got the best, and I mean the best, transition sequence in any mission title ever, of Flux, Myriad, and Dreams or something. And that just, we saw Irminsul arise from the Sumeru ground, and then that title just burned away to reveal truth amongst the pages of the Quran. It was, I mean, it was it was so peak. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. I mean, the hype moments in this were absolutely really well hyped. I mean, that's one moment that I love the most in the entire Song of the Welkin Moon patch. And the other moment is when Columbina returns, where she has this voice line which goes like, and when my body, soul, and authority are united finally, and then the Traveler yells, Columbina. I don't know why, but that just, the music, the scene where Columbina appears with her wings laid out, she opens her eyes. It just makes me tear up, man. It just makes me absolutely tear up. And then we had Sandrone's sacrifice. Like, Sandrone, even though she came back, but still at that moment, I mean, she came back in July. We saw her die in January. That's like 6 months of a period where we didn't know whether she will come back or not. I mean, it was rough, man. Even with Columbina, the new patch dropped on 3rd of December, I believe, 2nd of December, I think, and it ended on that cliffhanger where Dottore came, Dottore stole the moons from Columbina, and Columbina just, sacrificed her because she was a frost moon, so she sacrificed herself. She went to the moon gate, and that was the ending. And also the fact that, that, like, okay, in the story, she's not available, but then they remove her from the Selenic Chronicles as well. Like, that patch actually made me cry a lot for Columbina. Not gonna lie, like, I actually used to go back to the moon area, to, like, to Columbina's house, as you might call it, and I used to, like, spend time there, just, like, just wishing that, just she would come back. She would definitely come back. Obviously I knew that she was gonna come back, but still, it just kind of hurts, man. It just kind of hurt a lot. That honestly hurt a lot. That entire patch was really, really well done. I think it's one of my favorite patches in Genshin Impact of all time. I think Act 6 of Nod-Krai is really, really amazing. You also have that in, and they were so cruel that right before that cutscene, we had this entire hour-long sequence of us playing as Columbina and enjoying Moon Prayer Night with all these mini games, with all the character interactions, with all the specific photos and all. With Columbina making a card, like everybody making a card for Columbina. Like, it was, yeah, and like, yeah. Man, I got tears. Yeah. Overall, I just want to say that, Nod-Krai, but it made me cry a lot. It actually made me cry a lot. I don't know what's coming up for Snezhnaya. I'm assuming that it's going to be another sad story because, looking at the Tsaritsa, I can feel that, that she has gone through some stuff that would be pretty tough to, like, to go through. But let's just see what happens in the future. As of now, I think Nod-Krai is the region that made me cry the most. It is one of the most beautiful regions that I've ever experienced. The music, the characters, the region itself. The gameplay was kind of short. The combat mechanics fell kind of short, especially coming right after Natlan. But still, I would rate this region very high. And I mean, it obviously goes into my list of favorite regions of all time, alongside, like, Natlan and Sumeru. Like, this region is very, very close to me. And I don't know, man, it's just very emotional to say goodbye to it. Like, to know that these characters will not appear again in the Archon Quest, that they've been delegated to event quests only. It's kind of sad, especially Columbina. But I'm kind of happy to see the conclusion that she had. Kind of happy to see the ending of the region. And I'm excited for Snezhnaya. Yeah, let me know your thoughts below on what you thought about it. These were my honest thoughts. I thought of preparing a script for this entire video, but then I said, screw it. I'm gonna go with my emotions. I wanna, like, just if I gotta cry, I will cry, which I actually did a bit. But yeah. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to support me and have a great day. Goodbye.